Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to give my review on I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. This is the complete manga series in an omnibus format put out by Seven Seas. Um, the author's story is by Yoru Sumino and the art is by Idumi Kirihara. Um, this was wonderful. I knew this was going to be something I would love. I knew it was something that was going to make me cry. I really, really loved this. It's quite a thick omnibus, and it is about our main character is this boy here, um, and he is very introverted, very quiet, doesn't have any friends, doesn't want to talk to people, doesn't really care. Goes to school and then just does his thing and goes home. Doesn't like people. His classmate is Sakura, and she is dying of a pancreatic disease. He's the library assistant or something, or library monitor or whatever. He spends a lot of time in the school library doing like book shelving and things like that, and she starts doing that as well, I guess, to get close to him. And he finds out that she's dying of this pancreatic disease, and he is the only one outside of her family that knows this. And so this is the story about her last little bit of her life, spending time with this really depressed loner boy. And it is a really beautifully done story. I have not read the light novel, and I probably won't because I'm not a fan of light novels, but um, this was something I will probably reread many, many, many times. It is exactly the type of story I enjoy. I was very much this boy in high school for the first couple years of high school. I did not talk to anybody. If anyone talked to me, I would try and end the conversation very quickly so I could just get away from everyone. I didn't want people talking to me. I didn't want people looking at me. I didn't want them noticing me. I just wanted to go to school because I had to, do my work, and then go home. And that was what my life was the first 2 years of high school. And this girl reminded me very much of somebody who, the person who pulled me out of that. And in my case, the person wasn't dying, but in this story, it just so happens that she is. And so it felt very nostalgic to me, this story, because I really, really connected with it. But anyway, you know right from the first like page or so that she's died, because it starts right off with that. So that's not a spoiler. Um, and it basically starts off with him, talking about the fact that she's died, and then it goes back to the beginning of the story where uh, their relationship kind of begins up until the ending when you find out, um, or up until the ending when she does actually die. So it's so fun and lighthearted, obviously with this undertone of a very sad reality, but they they just kind of go about their daily lives, and she's dragging him around to a ton of different places, and he doesn't like to go anywhere. So she's dragging him out on an overnight trip, she's dragging him out to go shopping, she's dragging him everywhere, and he's like, "Come on, man, I just want to go home." And but obviously, he's enjoying himself because he's never had someone in his life like her who really, really wants to be around him, and he can't figure out why. He can't figure out why she doesn't want to just go hang out with her actual friends. Like, what's so special about him? And it's really, really sweet and really beautiful and really cute, and it's heartbreaking, obviously, but so well done and very um like kind of fast paced. I mean, I read it in one sitting and I really enjoyed it. I couldn't put it down. It it very much from start to finish was a really beautiful story, and it did have some twists and turns that I was not expecting. So I was appreciative of that. The art is, there's some really beautiful color pages, and I love color pages that are not glossy pages. Those are my favorite. They're, yeah, some really, really nice color pages at the beginning. And then the actual art is pretty standard, honestly. It's not anything really to write home about. Um, it's all just kind of, I do appreciate the backgrounds. There's quite a bit of background happening, but yeah, the characters and everything, it's all pretty standard looking. But honestly, I think it fits the story. It doesn't distract from anything, and it doesn't. Um, yeah, it's just kind of low key art for a really beautiful sort of story about this short period of time at the end of her life and at a clearly pivotal moment of his. And it just, I like stories like this where there's somebody who is really, really depressed. Clearly, he's depressed. And somebody else comes in with a passion for life that is so overpowering that it kind of envelopes the depressed person into like, how the hell does this other person exist this way? I can't fathom why you would be so upbeat and happy all the time, especially in her situation. But it's done really well because you see her trying so hard to put on this air of being okay, but she's scared. She's a teenager and she knows that she's going to die really soon. And it's so beautiful to see that she's finding solace in being around him, and he is getting the same out of being around her, because these are two people that are in very different life situations but are both very lonely and both very scared and not connecting with the people around them, and they find this camaraderie amongst each other that they just don't get anywhere else and or from anybody else. And it's very interesting to see how their classmates react to them hanging out and how her friends react and how her family situation is. And yeah, it's just, it was so well done, and I cried and I knew I was going to cry. um but yeah, it just, I highly recommend picking it up. It's one omnibus. It's really beautiful. It's if this sounded at all interesting to you, pick it up. I knew based on the title, as soon as I saw the title of it before this was released, I went, well, I need to get that. Um, there is no way I won't enjoy this. So, yeah, if if you haven't read it or haven't even read the synopsis or tried any of it out or read the light novel or whatever, I highly recommend checking out this story, um, because it was really beautiful and really well done. So yeah, if you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if you have any questions about it, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.